Hi there, my name's Tamara Hickey, and this yoga class is for your hips. All right, so start on your back and start with your knees bent and your feet planted about hips distance apart. And we'll just take a couple of big breaths in order to start the practice, come to a sense of internal awareness. So either with your eyes open or closed, take a big, smooth, steady inhale through the nose. Fill up from the soles of the feet, up through the legs, through the pelvic floor, into the belly, the rib cage. Expand laterally, expand up and out. Pause in this inflated position. And then as you exhale, part the lips and slowly sigh out the air. And let's do that one more time. So take a big, smooth inhale through your nose, up through your feet. Have it travel up through your body. Inflate up, inflate out, inflate into the back towards the mat. Pause in this position, and then as you exhale, slowly part the lips and sigh out the air. And then continue to draw your awareness to the breath, feeling it move in and out of the body. Maybe have the breath be a little bit deeper than it normally is when you're just in your everyday life. So lengthening the inhale, lengthening the exhale a bit. And just notice the rise in the chest and the front body on the inhale, the expansion. And then as you exhale, notice a sense of ease, a sense of release. And take a couple more cycles here on your own. And then let's start by crossing the right ankle just beyond the left knee. And place your right hand on your right knee. We're going to create a little bit of dynamic tension first. So press the knee into the hand into the knee. As you inhale, resist there. And then as you exhale, let that go. As you inhale, knee into the hand into the knee. As you exhale, let that go. One more time like that. Inhale, create the sense of pressure. And then exhale, let that go. Now, interlace your hands behind your left thigh, drawing the knee towards the shoulder. And you can use your right elbow to continue to press the right knee away. And you can either let the tailbone come up or press it down towards the floor. Both will give you a different stretch. So do whatever feels best right now in your body. Allow the shoulders to drop back as you draw the left knee to the left shoulder. Take one more inhale to stay here. As you exhale, release the foot down and uncross the ankle. Now left ankle crosses beyond your right knee. And just take a moment with the left hand at the left knee. Press the knee into the hand into the knee. As you inhale, engage. As you exhale, let that go. Inhale, create some tension. Exhale, release. One more time, inhale and exhale, let that go. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh. Draw your right knee towards your right shoulder. You can use your left elbow to gently press your left knee away. Let your shoulders drop back. A couple more cycles of breath here, either tailbone lifting or pressing down towards the floor. Take one more inhale to stay. As you exhale, release the foot down, uncross the left foot, place it on the floor. Roll over onto your side, come on up to all fours. Take your big toes together and your knees slightly wider than your hips. You maybe want to be further back on your yoga mat. Walk your hands out. Walk your hands out far enough that the elbows stay straight as you sink your hips back and down. So it's like an extended child's pose. So sink the hips back towards the heels. Keep walking the fingertips forward to the front of your mat. Your hands about shoulder distance apart. And start to press down through the palms, through the entire hand, especially between the index and thumb. That part of the hand can sometimes lift up. As you reach your fingertips forward, continue to release your hips back and down. Expand the breath into the rib cage and just notice where space is opening up in the side body. Send the breath there. Couple more cycles of breath here, reaching forward with the hands, reaching back with the hips. On your next inhale, pull yourself up to all fours. Separate your big toes, leave your hands and knees where they are for now. Tuck your toes underneath you, press back and up, downward facing dog. Now feel free to bend your knees right away. If you've been doing a lot of sitting, which a lot of us have lately, you may notice a lot of tightness in the backs of the legs. So bend your knees, push down with the hands, and find as much length as you can from the palms back to the hips, sending the hips back and up by rooting down through the hands. Find more length along the side body, and again, breathe into those spaces you're creating. And then you can start to straighten your heels, maybe squeeze a heel down one at a time as you feel the backs of the legs starting to loosen up. If that hasn't happened yet, continue to keep the knees bent. If you feel any pain in your low back, continue to keep the knees bent. Couple more cycles of breath here, deepening the breath, rooting down with the entire hand in order to rebound the hips back and up. Now, go ahead and straighten the knees if they aren't already. On your next inhale, rock forward to plank. So your shoulders are slightly ahead of your wrist creases in space. Take a moment here to really root down through the balls of the feet to send the thigh bones up to the ceiling. As you do that, direct your tailbone to your heel so you feel compact at your center and the sense of tone in your belly. While you're sending your heels to the back of the room, pull your chest to the front of the room without losing that weightedness in the tailbone and without losing that tone in the belly. So you're long in two directions. Take an inhale to stay here. Now as you exhale, drop your knees down to the mat and untuck your toes or point your toes. Keeping your tailbone heavy, take one more inhale to pull your chest forward and up. And now keeping your elbows pinned in towards the rib cage, slowly lower as slowly as you can, all the way down till you land on the floor. Once you land on the floor, drop your forehead down to the floor. So dropping your forehead down to the floor is a way to help keep the back of the neck long so that we can now use the muscles of the back in order to create the back bend we're about to do. So keep the hands right next to your low rib cage. Notice the elbows may want to flare out. Pin them in towards each other, and you can feel how this opens the front of the chest. Continue to keep the forehead down towards the floor, the chin heavy. As you inhale, now lift your head, your shoulders, your chest, a little bit of pressure in the palms, baby cobra. As you exhale, lower back down to the floor. Heaviness in the tops of the feet, so the tops of the feet stay on the floor. As you inhale, lift your chest up. As you exhale, lower down. One more time like that. Tops of feet heavy. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, lower the chest down. Keeping your hands right next to your low ribs, push up through all fours. Tuck your toes underneath you. Downward facing dog one more time. Root down with the hands. Rebound back and up with the hips. On your next inhale, one more time, rock yourself forward to plank. Find length in two directions, so press back through the heels. Pull forward with the chest without sinking in your hips. And the way you resist that is to press the tops of the thighs to the ceiling and send your tailbone towards your heels. One more inhale here. Now feel free to continue to drop the knees or keeping the legs straight, again, as slowly as you can with your elbows pinned in. Lower all the way down to the floor. There's lots of ambient sounds, snow dropping from my roof and my dog outside the door. So that's all part of the experiment. Now this time, inhale, head, chest, and shoulders lift. Remember to keep the chin heavy. And now lift your palms away from the floor. So the muscles of the back have to do all the work. Notice your elbows again may want to go out to the side. Pin your elbows in. Lift your chest up. Take one more inhale here. Send your toes to the back of the mat, your chest to the front of the mat. As you exhale, lower all the way down. Push yourself to all fours. Tuck your toes underneath you. And again, downward facing dog, hips back and up. Few more cycles of breath here. Just notice if the backs of the legs are any warmer. Keep that rootedness in the hands as a way to rebound the hips back and up and get as much length from the palms to the sitting bones as you can. Breathing into all the spaces you may be finding. Take one more inhale here. Now as you exhale, walk your feet back towards your hands. So as you do this, you may notice, again, more tension in the low back. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Most of us will have to. Then take your hands to your shins. And again, I want you to create a little bit of tension. So press your shins into your hands into your shins. As you come up to a flat back position, come up part way. And as you press your shins into your palms, pull your chest to the front of your mat. Take one more inhale to stay here. As you exhale, round down over the legs, keeping the knees bent. And then come up the way you came down. So come through your flat back and then reach your arms out, then up to the ceiling. Come all the way up to standing. As you exhale, release your arms. And now walk to the front of the mat. So we'll come through a few cycles of sun salutes. Standing at the front of your mat, feet hips distance apart and parallel. So in general, outer borders of the feet line up with the outer borders of the mat. As you inhale, reach your fingertips to the ceiling, lengthen up. As you exhale, hinge at your hips and pull your chest forward. Exhale, roll all the way down. As you inhale, come up to your flat back, keeping your hands on your shins, pressing your shins into your hands. As you exhale, bend your knees a lot. Slide your hands right next to your feet and step your feet to plank. And remember, in plank, see if you can get your shoulders just ahead of your wrist creases. As you exhale, either drop your knees or with straight legs, lower all the way down. So with your hands next to your feet before you step back, most of you should end up with your hands around your low rib cage, which creates a 90-degree angle in your arm. That may or may not happen. But see if you can keep your hands right next to your feet before you step back. From here, baby cobra, keeping the back of the neck long. One inhale to lift the palms. Exhale to lower the palms down. Push yourself through all fours, tuck your toes, and then head to downward facing dog, hips back and out. As you exhale, continue to feel the length along the front body, your chest moving away from your navel. As you exhale, keep weighting down through the heels, sending them back and down towards the mat. More snow dropping from the roof. On your next inhale, come high on your toes, look up between the hands. As you exhale, in however many steps you need to, step to the front of the mat. Take your hands to your shins to come up to a flat back. Pull your chest forward and up. As you exhale, lower down. Coming through your flat back, reach all the way up to standing, fingertips to the ceiling. As you exhale, lower your arms next to your sides. Again, inhale, lengthen up, sweep up. Exhale, contract. Hinge at your hips and then spine rounds down. Inhale, reach up part way, pulling your chest forward. Exhale, bend your knees. See if you can get your hands right next to your feet and then step your feet to plank position. If that doesn't happen, no worry. Take an extra breath here to find length in two directions. So your heels pressing back, your chest moving forward. Either with bend your knees and drop them to the floor or keep your legs straight as you lower all the way down as slowly as you can. Take an inhale, lift your head, your chest, pin your elbows in. Inhale, lift the hands away from the mat, root down with the tops of the feet, and then replace the hands next to your low ribs. Press yourself through all fours, head back to downward facing dog. Couple more cycles of breath here. Tuning into the sound of the breath moving in and out of the body. And the feel of the breath, the expansion, the release. Take an inhale to come high on your toes. Look between your hands. Exhale, step to the front of your mat. Inhale, part way, flat back. As you exhale, fold in and down. As you inhale, root down through the feet, rebound all the way up to standing. As you exhale, release your hands, release your arms. One last time. Inhale, sweep up, breath of expansion. Exhale, fold in, breath of release. Inhale, up, flat back, come up part way. Exhale, hands next to your feet, step the feet back. Using an extra breath here to find the strength of your legs, pressing to the ceiling, the heaviness of the tailbone dropping to your heels. Lower all the way down to your mat, going as slowly as you can. Again, the knees can come down or keep the legs straight. Inhale, baby cobra, pin your elbows in. Exhale, press, downward facing dog. Now come high on your toes, look up between your hands, step your right foot all the way up. Use your right hand to help the leg if you need to get it up to the front of the mat. Drop your back knee down and then climb your hands up onto your right knee so that you can bring your chest all the way up, bring your hands to your hips. So just like you directed your tailbone to your heels in plank, find that heaviness here as well. So manually, you can use your hands while they're at your waist, direct your tailbone down towards the backs of the knees. So you feel the back body drop and the front body lift up, and this sense of tone at the low belly. Now the other reason we want to drop the tailbone here is to try to lengthen the front of the back thigh, the hip flexors. So continue to keep the tailbone heavy, and then start to inch your front foot forward. As you inch your front foot forward, continue to root down through the ball of the back foot. So see if you can keep those back toes tucked. If that's uncomfortable, then you can just put the top of the foot on the floor. If the toes of the back foot are tucked, keep rooting down through the ball of the back foot and rebounding from the waist to the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Keep dropping the tailbone. Keep lifting up out of the waist. On your next inhale, release your arms down, reach your fingertips to the ceiling, grow taller from the waist to the fingertips as you root down heavily through the front heel and the back ball of the foot, the ball of the back foot. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, lower the hands down either side of the right foot. Now push down through the ball of the back foot again so that you can straighten your knee and send your thigh bone to the ceiling. Take your right hand to the outer right hip and just notice if the hip's trying to swing out to the right. Sometimes the body has these sneaky ways of bypassing the stretch, and we might have to manually put them in line so we can isolate where we want to. So start to direct your outer right hip to your back heel as a way to lengthen the right side of the body. And now inhale for length along the central axis of your body or along the center line of the mat. As you exhale, twist open to the right. Root down through your left palm, rebound up through your right fingertips. Keep hugging your right knee in towards your left rib cage as you rotate your left rib cage towards your right knee. And again, use the inhale to find length, shoot the chest forward. Use the exhale to find a little bit more rotation as you wrap the left side of your body towards the right leg. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, lower your right hand down. Inhale, keep the chest moving forward if you can as you step your right foot back to plank. Go directly to down dog or pin your elbows in, lower all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra, pinning your elbows again. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, come high on your toes, look to the front of the mat. This time, step your left foot forward and drop your back knee down, keeping the back toes tucked if you can. Climb your hands up on your left knee, just to steady you as you come all the way upright, then bring your hands to your hips. And again, manually direct your hips so that your tailbone is heavy towards the back knee and the front of the body lifts. Start to inch your left foot forward, keeping pressure on the ball of the back foot, keeping the tailbone heavy. So you may not even walk the left foot forward very far before you start to really feel the stretch on the front of the back thigh. Keep all the pressure rooting down through the feet, ball of the back foot, front heel, and rebound from the waist all the way up to the crown of the head. On your next inhale, reach your fingertips to the ceiling. One breath here. As you exhale, bring your hands down either side of your left foot. Now start to press down more through the ball of the right foot, sending the heel back as you send the thigh bone up to the ceiling, straightening the knee. Inhale to draw, take the left hand to the outer left hip. And again, notice if it's swinging out to the left, pin it back and in towards your back heel. Now take an inhale to lengthen your spine forward. And as you exhale, revolve, opening to the left. So the right rib cage now is drawing towards the left thigh as you hug the left knee in towards the midline. And if that's hard to do, maybe move your left foot to the left a little bit. Inhale to find length along the front body. Exhale to find a little bit more rotation. Take one last inhale to stay here. As you exhale, untwist, hands on either side of the front foot. Send your chest forward as you step your left foot back. You're in plank. Either go directly to downward facing dog or once again, pin your elbows in to lower all the way down. Keeping the back of the neck long, the chin heavy as you lift the head, chest, shoulders up and away from the floor. Exhale, lower back down. And then hips back and up, downward facing dog. Take an inhale to come high on your toes, look between your hands, and step or hop your feet there. Bring your hands to your shins as you come up to a flat back position, come up part way. And then as you exhale, fold in. Inhale, fingertips to the ceiling, come all the way up to standing. As you exhale, lower your arms next to your side. Chair pose. Bend your knees deeply, sink the hips down. Inhale, sweep your hands up. And we're going to do this dynamically first. As you exhale, push the floor away and come back up to standing. Again, like that. Chair pose. Sink your hips down, reach your fingertips up, bend your knees deeply, and then push the floor away. One more time, like that. Inhale, sink the hips down, reach the fingertips up. So again, moving in two directions. Come all the way up to standing. Inhale, last time, sink the hips down, reach up. This time, fold forward, hands either side of your feet. Take your hands to your shins, come up part way. Keep your hands next to your feet, knees bent as you step your feet back, plank position. Exhale, lower all the way down. Again, inhale, baby cobra, elbows pinning in, chin heavy. And then from there, exhale, downward facing dog. Come high on the balls of the feet and step your right foot forward between your hands. Move it to the right as much as you can, and then spin your left heel down. Move it to the left so you're lined up roughly heel to heel. Keep your front knee bent deeply as you inhale, come up, warrior one, reach your fingertips to the ceiling. As you inhale, straighten your front knee. Square your hips so the frontal hip bones are pointing straight ahead. So you want to angle the back foot slightly towards the front of the mat so your knee doesn't torque as you try to rotate your hips forward. Staying here on the inhale. As you exhale, bend into the front knee. Again, inhale, push the floor away, straighten up. Exhale, bend into the front knee. Again, inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, this time bend and hold, warrior one. As you root down through the feet, rebound from the waist to the fingertips. Reach your fingertips to the ceiling. Now draw the palms together, look up if balance is okay, and bring the hands down to heart center. We're going to shift to warrior two. So in order to do this, let's move the right foot to the left side of the mat, and then open up to the left, spreading your arms at shoulder height. And you can look straight ahead or you can look out over the right fingertips, stacking your shoulders directly over your hips, warrior two. So we move the front foot so that the front heel now bisects the back arch instead of having heel to heel like we did in warrior one. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, hands down either side of the front foot. Either go right to dog or come through the vinyasa. So step your foot to plank, pin your elbows in, lower all the way down. Inhale, lift the head, chest, and shoulders, pin your elbows in, and exhale, downward facing dog. Come high on the toes, step your left foot forward, cheat it to the left a little, and exhale the back heel down. Cheat it to the right, so you're lined up roughly heel to heel. As you inhale, lift your chest up, reach your fingertips to the ceiling, warrior one. Now inhale to root down through the front foot and draw the left knee straight. As you exhale, bend your left knee. Inhale, push down through the foot, straighten the left knee. As you exhale, bend, warrior one. Inhale, last time, straighten. Exhale, bend into the left knee. Keep rooting down through the front heel, rebounding all the way up to the fingertips. Either keep looking straight ahead, or if balance is okay, look to the palms, touch your palms. Exhale the hands down to heart center. Now start to shift the left foot to the right a little bit so that your heel moves more in line with the inner arch of the back foot. And now open to warrior two, facing the right side of your mat. Squaring your hips, your shoulders over your hips, spreading your arms apart. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, hands down, either go directly to dog or step to plank. Lower to your belly. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, hips back and up, downward facing dog. Okay, so we're just going to add on a couple more poses. So one more time, come high on the toes on the inhale. Look up, step your right foot up, and drop your back heel down so you're lined up heel to heel just like you were in Warrior One. Inhale, reach the arms up to the ceiling, Warrior One. Bend deeply into the front knee. While you're bending deeply into the front knee, see if you can lift the front heel a little bit and root down even more with the ball of the front foot. Keep the knee as bent as it is, trying to get the thigh parallel to the floor. That may or may not happen. But challenge yourself to go deeper than you may normally or that feels comfortable. Lifting the heel in order to push into the ball of the foot more. Now maintain that connection at the ball of the foot, but now bring the heel back down to the floor. Keep bending the front knee. Either straight ahead with the gaze or look up, touch your palms. Exhale, hands down to heart center. One more time, shift the right foot to the left a little bit as you open up Warrior Two. Spread your arms apart. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Keep bending into the front knee. So if the front knee has straightened, see if you can sink down a little more. Now place your right elbow on your right knee. Flip your left palm to the ceiling and sweep the left arm up and over the ear with the palm facing down. So right elbow on the right knee. Root down through the pinky toe side of the left foot as you, like a javelin, reach your fingertips to the front of the mat. Take an exhale to stay here. Keep the front knee bent deeply. As you inhale, come back up to Warrior Two. Keep the front knee bent deeply as you flip your right palm up and go to Reverse Warrior. Reach the right fingertips to the ceiling, leaning back slightly towards the back leg. Take an inhale, breathe into the right side of the rib cage where you've just created all that space. Bend your front knee deeper, deeper, deeper as you exhale, hands down either side of the front foot. Step to plank, lower down, or go directly to downward facing dog. If you've come down, inhale, chest up, and exhale, downward facing dog. Almost done. Come high on the balls of the feet, look up. Step your left foot up and spin your right heel down. Be heel to heel. On a big inhale, reach up, Warrior One. Keep bending into the left knee. See if you can get the left thigh parallel to the floor. And now lift the left heel slightly. It'll force you to root down with the ball of the foot more. So keep that rootedness through the ball of the foot as you sink your front thigh so that it gets to be more parallel to the floor. Now, keep the bend in the front knee as you slowly lower the left heel back down to the floor. Inhale, look up or look straight ahead. That's better for balance. Touch your palms, bring the hands to heart center. Shift your left foot to the right slightly so your front heel to back arch. As you reach your arms, open up, Warrior Two. Keep the bend in the front knee. Keep the weight in the outer border of the back foot. Take an inhale to stay. Keep these legs as you lower your left elbow to your left thigh. Now flip your right palm to the ceiling and sweep the arm over the right ear. So you're straight on a diagonal from the right fingertips all the way down the side body to the outer border of the right foot, rooting down into the floor and rebounding up the side of the body. Take an exhale to stay here. Keep these legs as you inhale back up to Warrior Two. Last pose, flip your left palm up, come to reverse warrior, gently touch your right fingertips to your back thigh. As you reach up to the ceiling, creating more space on the left side of the ribs. Breathe into that space on an inhale, bend one more time deeply into your left thigh. And then as you exhale, hands either side of the left foot. Pull your chest forward as you step to plank. Either go to down dog or lower to your belly. And inhale for baby cobra. Exhale, hips back and up. Take a last few cycles of breath here. We'll start to wind down the practice. Keep your feet where they are. And now once again, walk your hands to your feet, bending your knees as much as you need to. Take your feet as wide as your mat, turn your toes out slightly. We'll come into Garland Pose. So sink your hips down, bring your elbows to the insides of your knees, your palms together. Now for a lot of people, they can't get their heels down. One of the things you can do is you can roll the back of your mat forward a few rolls so that your heels have something to press into. It's also fine to just hang out there in space, but it can be more stabilizing if your heels can actually root down into the roll of the mat. If you have a blanket, if you have a couple books, you can slide under your heels. For now, the easiest thing is probably the mat. We won't be here for long. So with the elbows at the insides of the knees, your palms pressing together, we're going to one more time create a little bit of that dynamic tension. So press your knees into your elbows and your elbows back into your knees. Take an inhale to stay here. As you exhale, keep the pose, let that go. So a couple more times like that. Knees into the elbows, elbows into the knees. Take an inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, release the tension. One more time, press into the elbows, press back into the knees with the elbows. And exhale, let that go. Hang out here for a few breaths. Feeling the weight of the pelvis down to the floor. Feeling the breath, filling the pelvic area. The low back area. Keeping the chin level to the floor so there's no tension in the neck, no lifting of the chin. Think of the crown of the head ascending directly up to the ceiling. Take another breath here. And then with your hands behind you, come onto your back. Bend your knees, plant your feet so they're around hips distance apart. Draw your right knee towards your right shoulder. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh and go ahead and flex the right foot, pressing it up towards the ceiling, straightening the knee as much as you can. And again, let's create a little tension. So as you press your thigh into your hands, press your hands into your thigh, you're creating this resistance on the inhale, and then exhale, keep the position, but let the resistance go. One more time, resist, resist, resist. Exhale, release, release, release. One more time, thigh into the hands, hands into the thigh. Exhale, let that go. Either hold for a few more cycles of the breath. If you want to go a little deeper, you can straighten the left leg along the floor. Drop your shoulders back. And notice if there's any tension creeping into the base of the neck. One more inhale here. And exhale, release. Release the leg down. Now if you straighten the bottom leg, then once again, bend your knees, plant your feet. Now draw the left knee towards the left shoulder. Interlace the hands behind the thigh. Flex the left foot, sending up to the ceiling. Press the thigh into the hand into the thigh. Inhale, create tension. Exhale, find the ease. Inhale, create some tension. Exhale, let that go. One last time, resist, resist, resist. Exhale, release. Staying here or straightening the right leg along the floor. Drop your shoulders back. Allow the base of the neck to be released. Couple more breaths here. And exhale, let the leg go. Now bring the soles of the feet together so the knees are out to the side. Bring your arms wider than your mat. Turn your palms up. If it is okay for you, you can bring your hands to the belly and just feel any space you might be creating in the pelvic region, in the belly. Feel the breath moving in and out of the body. And just notice if there's any difference to the quality of your breath from when we first started. So obviously I'm going to recommend at least a 5-minute Shavasana, which is corpse pose. You could take it here in this pose, or you could straighten the legs out so they're straight and about as wide as the mat. Allow the feet to flop open so the hips can be loose. If you'd like to stay longer, you can. So we'll end here. Take your own Shavasana, and thank you for watching.